What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Media Goose channel. I am the Media Goose, and the goose is loose, baby. I am here today to talk to you about the 2026 Royal Rumble event. I did my predictions. I ended up going 3 for 4. The only match I did not get correct is the Women's Royal Rumble. That's the match I'm going to start off talking about because it was the first match of the night. Before I get into that, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and share the video. Help me reach a larger audience. So, the Women's Royal Rumble match. Right off the top, I think this was the better Rumble match out of the two this evening. I feel like this match had better through lines, better stories being built. I thought eliminations were built to where that wasn't happening much in the men's. I thought there was just a better flow to this match than the men's Rumble. So I'm going to go through the notes that I took. I watched the Rumble, or I watch a show twice before I review it. I watch it once taking notes, but I try not to take so many notes that I'm not paying attention and just kind of enjoying it. That's kind of like my fan watch. Then I watch it a second time to take more notes and really hit home what the bigger points were. For the Rumble matches, I'm going to kind of go through the moments that were the big spots, but I'll give my general thoughts. Like I just did, I thought this match had a better flow to it overall. I thought there was better build up to eliminations than the men's Rumble. Um, Opening it with Charlotte and Alexa was fun. I thought that was cute. The fact that Charlotte would be the one who was like, but WrestleMania, because she's always been the person who it felt like was always going to put winning and championships ahead of any friendship. That's kind of her character. So to see her as the one kind of wanting to fight when Alexa just wanted to wait for the next person was cool. Then Kiana James got some good spots. I think that's somebody that they want to build up. They gave her a pretty good power spot versus Nia. Um, Jordan Grace came in. She did really well early on. She had like 3 eliminations pretty quickly. There was a miscommunication between like Nia, Charlotte, and Jordan that was a little clunky, and that kind of thing happens. It's Rumbles. But when there's not a lot of people in the ring, the moments stick out a little more. So that one, it was like a corner spot with Nia and Charlotte that went wrong, and you could just hear them calling it out. So that was a little weird. Um, then we had Charlotte accidentally getting out Alexa while she took care of Nia. I wonder if this will be the beginning of splitting up Alexa and Charlotte. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Alexa versus Charlotte at Mania, but they're so over. I also wouldn't be surprised if the team goes longer. I feel like they do that a lot, where like a tag team is meant to break up early, but based on how good it works out, they end up going longer. Fraxium's an example of that. Um, the star of the show, in my opinion, was Lash Legend. Lash Legend showed up and showed out. She was phenomenal. It was clear there was like a directive, make Lash look good, and I love that. Lash was excellent. She looked like a star. They really did enough to build up what a big deal she's going to be. I thought Roxanne as well looked great. Roxanne is another young star they really love, and it's clear they have big plans in the future for her. I love this repackaging of Natty Neidhart instead of Natalia. This is something that most people have known Natty was capable of for a long time. I just didn't think they'd ever bring it to actual WWE programming. So the fact that it's happening is awesome. She got out Maxine. She also got out Becky, or I think Becky got Maxine, but then Becky tried to get one over on Natalia, and Natalia took care of Becky. She said she wants that title. I don't know. Maybe we'll get like Maxine versus Becky versus Natty. That would be pretty sick. It's crazy how much Maxine has developed. She went from just like one of those people who it looks like they're hired because they're a model, but she has worked her behind off to make herself a really good in-ring competitor, and I just want to acknowledge that. She's really put in a lot of work and is a great wrestler now. I'm really impressed by her. Let's see. The Julia Asuka Io moment was really cool. I enjoyed that. Chelsea, I wish they viewed Chelsea as a main eventer the way the fans clearly do. I didn't watch Unreal season 1 or 2, but the most recent one, but I saw the clip where Bruce Pritchard talks about how Chelsea shouldn't be at the same level as like Rhea and Io and Tiffany, and that's BS. Like old heads like that see things that way, get them out of the room. Like these are people from a different era whose opinions are dated. Get him out of there, because Chelsea could be a world champion main eventer right now and get the support of the fans, where half the roster couldn't say that. The run that Tiffany got should have been Chelsea Green's. When that Money in the Bank happened and Tiffany won, it should have been Chelsea that won and got the title reign, and Tiffany should have got the US title reign. They totally botched that, where they flipped it and treated Tiffany as the star, and I'll get to that now. Tiffany does nothing for me, especially not as a babyface. And to see her constantly presented as like this big deal, I don't like it. They called her like the best athlete in the WWE. No, that's ridiculous. Like Bianca, Montez, Javon, Nathan Frazier, I don't know. Tiffany does nothing for me, especially this boring babyface character, and they just got to turn her heel to give her something to do. The Bellas also do nothing for me. Brie was cooler than Nikki. The Yes Chance, the Daniel Bryan like move set she did that got a big reaction, that was pretty cool. It looks like we'll probably get the Bellas versus Bayley and Lyra at Mania, which, like, all right. The Bellas do nothing for me, so whatever. Other than that, what other big... I don't think there was a lot else that were, like, huge moments. I wish they would have done more with Asuka and Kairi. I would have liked to see Kairi in before Asuka, just so she could, like, struggle to stay in, and you could see her freaking out, like, oh my god, what if I get eliminated before Asuka's here? That's one story I wish they did more with, but they gave them a lot to do based on the way they were eliminated. So a lot of stuff happens, and the final group is Raquel, Lash, Rhea, Liv, Sol, and Tiffy. Raquel bodies Rhea, like, it looked like it hurt. Then Liv gets out Raquel, which I thought was perfectly in character for Liv. The final three really stood out of Liv, Tiffy, and Sol. There was a great Soul Snatcher. And then finally, the right person wins with Liv Morgan. Like I said, I enjoyed this match. It was the best Rumble match of the night. Definitely better than the men's. I thought there was better stories built throughout the match. Eliminations were built to better. I thought there was more moments of consequence. So yeah, I think Liv was the right winner. It's going to be interesting to see how the road to WrestleMania goes for her. I feel like Raquel will probably lose to Stephanie, and then we get Stephanie and Liv at Mania. Then we got AJ versus Gunther. I hate that I was right, but Gunther won and retired AJ Styles. This was a really great match. They started with some really good chain wrestling sequences. Gunther really makes everything feel so real. The way Brock Lesnar in his prime did, like, everything felt like a fight. That's how Gunther feels now, and it's really great. This was a really entertaining match. It felt like everything was stiff and being laid in and just snug. The ref was counting obnoxiously slow, which I feel like was probably a directive based on the fact that it's a retirement match. So, like, every time AJ gets pinned, it should be like... But it felt like they were kind of milking that with how slow the counts were early. That gigantic back body drop was amazing. It was just a great match. The psychology was really great, where Gunther was working over AJ in the like chest and back area, just trying to kind of take his breath from him. Then AJ started working the leg to try to get the calf crusher. I thought the final sequence in this match was better dramatically than the Cena match. The Cena match, the ending, I agreed with the ending, but the way it was performed for the final 2 minutes didn't feel as heart-wrenching. This felt more emotional than that sequence did from the Cena match. It was beautiful. It was agonizing. Yeah, AJ Styles is one of the best to ever do it. I'm probably going to do a video just talking about AJ Styles. So, man, that is the end of a real career, a real one. It'll be interesting to see if AJ is done. The way he like took off his gloves and then put them down, but then picked them up. A lot of people have speculated that means he'll go wrestle elsewhere. I think that's possible. AEW would be awesome. He'd have some crazy matchups there. Then Drew and Sammy, I'm not going to talk about much. They did nothing to make me feel like Sammy was going to win, which they've been good at that before. Like, even when a match feels like it's obvious, they do a good job of making you believe. They did that with AJ and Punk. They did that with Finn and Punk. Never got there for me. It was a solid match, but I never felt like Drew was in any jeopardy. This was the match it needed to be, you know? It was the first title defense for Drew. It was good in ring, but Sammy never really felt close to winning, which it would have been cool if they built that up. It was like a hometown for him, and it didn't feel like his Elimination Chamber match with Roman. It didn't feel like any of those big underdog moments. So maybe they're saving that for WrestleMania 43 when Sammy wins the Rumble next year? Yeah, I think Sammy could win the Rumble next year to build to a main event match in Saudi at Saudi Mania. But yeah, that match was average. It was like 3.5 stars. I haven't given stars to this point, but out of 5, it wasn't very special. It was kind of like a SmackDown main event. Now getting to the men's Rumble. At the beginning, we have the masked man thing again, and just, really? You just do the same exact thing with the masked man? It's lazy. It felt cheap. The thing that Braun Breaker does best is his, like, intense energy in the ring. His promos aren't that good or intense. His backstage stuff doesn't really read intense, but in the ring he does. And they continue to take away chance for him to shine in ring. They took him out of the Battle Royal for the World Heavyweight title when he turned on Seth, which was idiotic. They take him out of this Rumble before he can do anything. That is the thing that is going to get him over, and you're not letting him do it. I don't like the way they're building Braun right now, and it's starting to feel like the way Vince was shoving Roman down our throats. This feels like the Roman build again. And when you have guys like Trick and Oba and these other guys that have an organic build, people are going to start turning on Braun if this is the way it's going to feel. Because you're not even letting him do the one thing he does really well, which is in-ring energy. So, I don't know, man. But the beginning of the Rumble was all for Oba, which I love. Oba really looked great. He was dominating people. Damian Priest came in and was like the first person that could throw hands with him. And I don't think I've shared this opinion on here before, but Damian Priest does nothing for me. His world title reign was awful. Nothing he does works for me. I've never enjoyed him. He's one of the worst promos in the business. He's an awful actor. I hate it. So the fact that they had him like able to go toe-to-toe with Oba really did, it kind of pissed me off. Trick coming in was awesome right off the bat. I love the way he was fighting with the Codon at the beginning. That was unique and felt, I don't know, just different. Then Javon coming in, the Javon Oba trick, that wouldn't surprise me if that's like a main event of Mania one day. That was pretty good. The El Grande Americano standoff was fun. I kind of figured that would happen. It's funny that Wade sided with Kaiser so emphatically, which I kind of hope means Chad Gable is a babyface in this and Kaiser will be the heel, because I want a lot for Chad Gable. I would love for them to do a mask versus mask match at Mania, have Kaiser win so he keeps that gimmick, and then Gable can go on to be hopefully at least a mid-card title winner and maybe even a main eventer, because that's how good Chad Gable is. Royce Keys, they showed the Powerhouse Hobbs thing. They called him Powerhouse Hobbs on commentary. That was good. I wasn't surprised he didn't get a huge pop from Saudi. I didn't think I probably wouldn't have debuted him here. I probably would have debuted him in America where he would have gotten a huge pop. Also, I hate the stadium shows because pops, when there's no roof on a building, the pop just goes right out. Their rumbles should be in actual buildings so that the pops you can feel and they're sustained. Pops in stadiums, just you hear the initial pop and then you just lose it because there's no top on the stadium to give that acoustic feeling. So a lot of pops that would have been pops weren't pops. The Vision dominating, then LA Knight came back and brought a lot of energy. I hate Brock Lesnar. He's brought nothing since he came back. The way he no-sold for Ilya made me mad. It genuinely pissed me off. I wish he never came back, and I hope the reports that he'll be done at next year's Minneapolis SummerSlam, I hope they're real, because he brings nothing to this company. And then he eliminates Oba, which I hate. Hopefully that at least means we'll get Oba Brock, and he'll put over Oba. But I hate Brock Lesnar. He's a terrible human, and he shouldn't be back, and he provides nothing. And he no-sold for guys that everybody else was selling for. So, fuck Brock Lesnar. Phoenix's music and presentation is too similar to Penta's. Their songs sound like the same song, just different parts. Like, do something to differentiate those guys, or just make them a tag. Jesus Christ, no more yeeting. That pissed me off, the running it back. And then Brock Lesnar, who you just had eliminate Oba, his elimination is during the Jey Uso yeeting. What the hell? When I say that eliminations were built to and had consequence in the women's rumble but didn't in the men's, this is what I mean. His frickin' music is still happening. He's walking through the crowd and Brock Lesnar gets eliminated by Cody and LA Knight. How dumb. Then Roman comes out and runs it back with Jay just to hit him. I hope Roman buries Jay on Raw, saying yeeting during War Games and then during the Rumble. He should make him out to be a clown and an idiot to hopefully get him to turn intense and drop the yeeting crap. Then a lot of stuff happens. What I figured happened with Cody happened. He got Claymored, and him, Jacob, and Drew were off to do their SmackDown main event. And the winner was Roman, which I predicted. It was probably the right call, but nothing about this match made that exciting. They just dumped out Jacob. Gunther was the last guy in. Nothing about this was exciting to me. I predicted Roman. He's probably going to go on to fight Punk, which will be really fun. And probably the right match, but there were no stakes. It didn't feel fun. The final four meant nothing. I remember when the final two, when's the last time they had I remember when the last two would have good matches at the end of a Rumble. Him and Gunther, it was a 30-second exchange and then nothing. It wasn't that fun. So The men's Rumble was worse than the women's. It was a below average Rumble in my opinion. Didn't feel consequential. Whoever booked this, I think, did a much worse job than whoever booked the women's Rumble. So I went 3 for 4. The only thing I got wrong was Bianca returning and winning. She did not return, which I assume means she's not cleared yet. I hope she's back soon. I really miss Bianca. Her and Jade would be awesome at Mania, but we'll see. So we're on the road to WrestleMania now. A lot of things went the way I assumed they would, but I don't think WWE did a lot to make them feel as exciting and big as possible. So we'll see what they have in store on this road to WrestleMania. Let me know what you thought about the matches down below. Let me know if you're excited about the winners, what you think the matches will be like at WrestleMania, and let me know who you think will win the Elimination Chambers coming up. I'm hoping Bianca returns there, and I'm guessing Cody will win that to get the Drew match. So we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Rumble. I hope you enjoyed the video. The Goose is out.